Hello, everybody. While we wait for everybody to join, I'd like to ask you to give us a little bit of information about yourself in the chat. It'd be great if you could add your name, where you're from, and where you work or study, or what field you would like to be working in as well. So give us a few minutes to welcome everybody into the call. So welcome everybody. If you could please introduce yourself in the webinar chat that you'll see to the right side of your screen, you should be able to see the chat function. So it'd be great if you could please add your name, where you're from, and again, whether you work or maybe you study somewhere, or what you would like to be doing. Great. So we'll go ahead and get started. So to introduce myself, I'm Leah Paracrests. I am the Director of Partnerships at the Institute for Economics and Peace. And I first of all want to say a big congratulations to all of you for becoming IEP ambassadors. You are all selected because you are absolutely excellent candidates. And oh, I see some notes that the chat is disabled. One moment, please. All right, we'll get work on that. Thank you very much for letting me know. So while we work on that in the background, um, again, I'm Leah Paracrest. I'm the Director of Partnerships at the Institute for Economics and Peace. I am usually based in Sydney, Australia, but right now I'm calling in from the United States, where my family is from. So to get started for today's program, what we're going to be doing is giving a little bit of an overview of the IEP Ambassador Program, what you all have signed up for, the Ambassador Challenge, some examples of what other ambassadors have been able to do as for their challenges, and then also how we can work on networking amongst ourselves and in the different groups and spaces that IEP have available for you. One thing I'd like to point out is that all of the photos in this presentation are of IEP ambassadors who have done their IEP Ambassador Challenge. So you'll see that these photos are from all of those different experiences that they have had. This one on this homepage is an IEP ambassador named Francis from Nigeria, and he's working with a school in his area. So again, what we're going to be going over today is a couple of key things. We will be going over the program expectations and the dates, how I recommend you go through the IEP Ambassador Program over the 6 weeks that we have, your Ambassador Challenge, examples of what other people have done, and creating networks within the Ambassador Network itself. What does this opportunity allow for all of our IEP ambassadors? And then we'll have also some time for open questions and answers. I'm aware that the chat is still disabled at this time, and we are working to fix that as soon as we can. For the program timeline, you all should have received in your emails this timeline on the left-hand side below the photo that you see, where it says 23rd of April is the program start date. The 28th of May is when we expect you to have um, your IEP Ambassador Challenges finished. And then for those who are successful in their IEP Ambassador Challenge, you will receive your IEP Ambassador Certificate and Letter of Completion on the 11th of June, 2025. So in total, you have 5 weeks to complete this program from start to finish. And this includes going through the online learning modules that most of you have seen already, where you're logging in, you're watching the videos, reading through the content, and participating in the discussion at the bottom of the page. So you'll be going through all of these modules. You'll see that there's one on our core reports, there's one on the positive piece side of things, and then there's a third section that's all about your ambassador challenge and how to do that. The second portion of this is in your hands. It is leading your IEP Ambassador Challenge. So I do recommend that you already begin to think about what you could do for your Ambassador Challenge. And once again, once you successfully complete all of the modules and submit your challenge on time, you will receive a certificate on the 11th of June. Now, do we have any questions about the program timeline overall? I do still see notes that the chat is disabled. We are handling that. But in the meantime, are there any questions just about the timeline? I'll leave a moment for any questions to come in. So by the 28th of May, you will have to submit your IEP Ambassador Challenge. Okay, great. I don't see any questions. I will ask you to please type your question into the Q&A function rather than raising your hand because we do have so many people here. It'll be quite difficult if I begin to allow people to speak. Is there any flexibility on the dates? No, there is not. If there's an extenuating circumstance where something makes it absolutely impossible to not submit your presentation or your ambassador challenge by the 28th of May, do let us know. From time to time, we have been able to let people extend by a few days. Can the IEP challenge be done by two people or an individual? If you're both in the program, please go ahead and you can do that together. You can also do it individually. You will have to, even if you're doing it with a partner, you both have to submit the final form because the form is attached to your name and your email. So we would not be able to see in the background if that presentation was for both of you. So everybody has to submit something into the program, even if you've done it together. What is the method of submission? That's a great question. So as you go through the modules, there will be a form in which you have to answer some questions about what you've done for your IEP Ambassador Challenge and also to submit some evidence of it. What sort of challenge are we expected to do? That's a wonderful question, and I have a slide on it in a few minutes, so we'll get to that soon. Can I have the presentations before finishing the online training? Yes, you can. I recommend that you finish the online training because then you have so many options to choose from as far as what kind of topic you would like to present on, but you are able to do it at the other time. Maybe fast forward to the IEP Ambassador Challenge section so that you can know what kind of information you need to submit for it. What would be the timings if it is through Zoom? That is completely up to you. Yes, the Ambassador Challenge can be carried out virtually, and this is on you to be planning it and conducting it. And it's your first time here, welcome, welcome. You don't have the financial resources to pay for the online certificate. The ambassador certificate is for free. There is no cost associated with the IEP Ambassador Program. We do have another online learning called the IEP Academy, and that one has an optional certificate that is paid, but the IEP Ambassador training is completely free. It is 3 a.m. for you here. We are going to have another Q&A session in a few weeks' time that will be held in a different time zone. So if this time zone is not working out for you, you will be able to join another call at a later time. What are the benefits of becoming an IEP ambassador? I think that's an excellent question. We have sent out a few emails discussing the benefits of this, but essentially you're going to receive new tools for local peace building. And not only do you get the insights into all of IEP's research and the Positive Peace tool, our IEP Ambassador Challenge is essentially a challenge. It challenges you to become a local peace leader in that way. Second to that, you also become a member of this excellent network that we have over 5,000 ambassadors, which I'll speak to in a few moments. For the partnered cohort, you can do the same challenge performed together. Both, please submit it into your own ones. You can submit the same things, but we just need to have it aligned to your account individually. You made a mistake in your submission of the community analysis. Yes, you can correct it. If it doesn't allow you, you can send us an email of the correction at ambassadors@economicsandpeace.org. Great, thank you. I see so many good questions here. Yes, you get to become an IEP ambassador in your country, and your IEP ambassador title can open up a lot of opportunities for you to really make a difference in your own community with the knowledge that you've learned from this program. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next slide that we have here. So your ambassador challenge. I'm aware that some of you have probably gotten to this part of the online learning yet, and some of you may have not progressed that far yet into the online learning modules. Once you go through the Positive Peace modules, the third module in this is all about actually doing something with what you've learned. So going beyond just sitting behind your computer watching the videos into going out into your community and starting to expand your capacity as a peace leader. So what the IEP challenge is that we ask you to have some sort of presentation, dialogue, discussion with people in your community, with your family, with your company that you work for about what you've learned during this program. So we ask that you deliver some kind of presentation or a speech that could include any of the topics that you've learned about. And you can also, twist them a little bit, make them aligned with whatever your interest and profession is. As you've noticed as you go through the modules, you are very welcome to use IEP's PowerPoint presentations, our downloadable content that's on the right-hand side. Anything that's available in this program, you are more than welcome to use. These presentations can be done in any language. And we do also have the specific IEP ambassador logo that's available on the last module. So you'll be able to use that as well for anything that you need. Okay, we have one new question here. Would it be appropriate to talk of global sensitive issues for the IEP Ambassador Program during the challenge? I'm assuming that you mean anything that's kind of a sensitive conversation that's going on in the world right now. Yes, as long as it relates to this kind of topic. You're welcome to do that. Of course, we encourage you to do it in safe and sensitive ways. But this is really up to all of you of how you are going to choose to take what you've learned, transform it into something that's appropriate for your audience, and that you feel comfortable speaking about. You can do the presentation by organizing online meetings. That is completely okay. You can do this in person or online. It can be a Zoom webinar. It can be more of a discussion. It can be a speech. There's many different ways that you can share this piece knowledge. Do you have to use IEP logo for every slide of presentation used from IEP's research work? So this question, no. But we do request that if you are ever using IEP's research or quoting from IEP, that you do mention and cite IEP as the source of that research. Can the Ambassador Challenge involve conducting presentations to local civil society representatives? Yes, absolutely. I think that's a really great idea and a way to have to complete your IEP Ambassador Challenge. How many times is the challenge presentation required to be submitted? Only once. You do not have to do multiple presentations. If you want to, that's wonderful, but one will suffice for this. Can the challenge be a research or do we need to conduct a presentation? It can be a piece of research. We do ask that the purpose of this is that you're sharing it as a new peace leader. So if you do write something, we would ask that maybe you put it on social media or you talk about it with other people so that we can begin to see, the ripple effect of talking about peace and talking about all of the resources that you're learning about in a public setting. Can the challenge be done in a school talking with students? Absolutely. That's wonderful. And actually, on the next slide that I'll get to now, we do exactly that in many times. So I have these examples of different ambassador challenges from your new ambassador cohort here. So these were held, oops, sorry. These were held from the past year. And you'll see that there's a lot of variance in the different topics that people talk about and the different audiences that they present to, and they really make it their own. And I think that's the beauty of this program is we want you to share what you learned most, how that relates to your work, your context, so that this information can be shared in a really useful way. So a couple of examples here. On the top left-hand side, you see that IEP Ambassador Happy. She's a wonderful woman. She held classroom discussions all about peace. So helping a local school, the students there, understand what is peace. And maybe you can imagine a lot of them were comfortable with negative peace as the definition of peace, but very few were familiar with the concept of positive peace. So that was what her presentation was all about. To the right-hand side, our IEP ambassador, Samir, he decided that he wanted to bring the 8 pillars of positive peace into his workplace. So he gave a presentation to his colleagues at work, and they discussed how they, as an office, can be enhancing and contributing to positive peace in their local context. Our bottom two ambassadors, two other really amazing examples here. We have IEP Ambassador Kioma, and her personal passion is AI. And so what she was able to do was to combine the 8 pillars of positive peace with her personal passion in AI. And she gave a talk at a university that she works at. So she was able to really take the time to combine this with her personal interest. And then lastly, here on the bottom right-hand side, we have IEP Ambassador Gervin. Gervin does live in a refugee camp, and he gave a presentation all about how to strengthen positive peace within this camp. And what came of this discussion was that they actually decided to propose a mechanism for human rights violations within the camp. So this was really incredible outcome of his IEP ambassador presentation and challenge. So I see a couple of new questions coming in. Can the presentation be an individually recorded video that's uploaded online? Yes, that's okay. We encourage you to use social media when and where possible. That's completely okay. Where can you find the material to use in this program? You can find that on the right-hand side in every single module. So as you go through the program, you will see that, for example, there's a module on the Global Peace Index. And while you're watching that video, on the right-hand side, there's a PowerPoint presentation there. There's the original research and some additional information as well. You're more than welcome to use all of those resources. If there's something else you want to use, you can also go to our website, visionofhumanity.org, and see additional work there. What is the duration of the challenge? There is no minimum. We do ask that you work to make it really meaningful, but we do not have a specific time that you need to be presenting or speaking for. You'd love to see Kiyoma's video. Please, like I believe she's in our ambassadors Facebook and LinkedIn group. So please do connect to those. I have those linked at the end of the presentation, where you can really connect with each other in a very meaningful way. Someone asked, what is positive peace? I will say chat to your fellow cohort here and also participate in module 2 of the online program, and that covers everything to do with positive peace. Where can your certificate be important to you in Nigeria, but also globally? A lot of people are using their certificates even as attached to their CV, or their resume to show that they have experience in learning about peace. How long should the presentation take? Again, there's no minimum here. We do ask that you make it meaningful though, because you're here and you're doing this, but there's no technical minimum. For an online presentation, what color is recommended for the PowerPoint slides? Again, completely up to you. That is yours to design. We do have some that you can use within the program as well, but it's totally up to you if you'd like to make it your own. Can the presentation be done like an interview method? Yeah, absolutely. You can do this in an interview method. You can do it between one, two, three people. It can be some kind of dialogue. Really, you can make it yours. The latest time to submit the presentation, as we had on the last screen there, is the 28th of May. How long after the program is completed will you have access to the learning resources? The answer is forever. You will always be able to log on to the Learning Hub and see your resources. You can present in any language you would like. How do you join the modules? You should have received an email that welcomes you to the program and says you can now start. In that email, there is a link to the website where they will ask you to sign in with your original email address. Is there an international conference that brings all IEP ambassadors together? That is something that we hope to do in the future. In the meantime, what we do is Zoom meetings and conferences. What is the address to send our work to, the presentation or the research? So yes, at the end of module 3, there is a submit your challenge page, and you'll be able to submit it there when that is live. Yes, you can use any language you would like. Okay, so I'm going to be moving on to the next page, which is creating your networks. So a big advantage of joining the IEP Ambassador program is that there are over 5,000 IEP ambassadors all around the world. We're represented in over 150 countries. So these are all people who are passionate about peace. They've been through this program. They know about the Ambassador Challenge, and they're oftentimes professionals in the field as well. So it's a really good networking opportunity. I ask that you join the IEP Ambassador Facebook page if you haven't already, and the LinkedIn page. One quick note, when you go to the Facebook page to join the group, we do ask you, when did you become an IEP ambassador? You can say 2025, and we say, do you agree to the group rules? And you have to say you agree to them. If you don't click that box, then you'll get rejected from the group and have to do the form again. So please do just confirm that you agree to the rules of the group. We also do special events for our IEP ambassadors online. Whenever we have a new piece of research that launches, we typically do a special launch that's only for our IEP ambassadors. So you'll be hearing from IEP researchers and staff members in those events throughout the year. And then lastly, like we really encourage you to be creating different groups amongst yourselves. We've had many ambassadors in the past say, I'm from Australia. I want to connect with all the Australian ambassadors. So they're posting in the Facebook and the LinkedIn groups saying, I've created a WhatsApp group for IEP ambassadors in my country. Please join it. The one thing that we cannot do is that we cannot give you the information of other IEP ambassadors because of data privacy. So if you want to be connecting with other IEP ambassadors, please use the Facebook group, the LinkedIn group, the discussion below the modules, and the opportunities at our special events for IEP ambassadors. So here after you become once you become an IEP ambassador, so you've gone through the modules, you've done your IEP ambassador challenge, you've submitted it, you have your certificate in hand, which is very useful when it comes to applying for jobs in this field, or cementing yourself as a peace leader within your community to have this certification. We also have the option where you can submit your CV to IEP. IEP is a global think tank. We have offices in Sydney, in New York City, in Mexico City, in Nairobi, in Brussels, and in The Hague. And we're all the time working on different grants for peace building. And so, what we often do is if we have a grant, let's say in Bulgaria, for example, we would say, oh, let's see which IEP ambassadors from Bulgaria have submitted their CV. If their CV matches the kind of project we're working on, we'll invite them to be an expert on that specific project. So that's one opportunity that comes from IEP through this IEP Ambassador Program, is that we often use IEP ambassadors for consultants if there is a relevant connection between your expertise in the specific project. And then lastly, whenever IEP staff members are traveling throughout the world, we always do check if we have IEP ambassadors in that area. And if we do, we absolutely want to be meeting with you. We want to know what you're up to, what you've been working on, if the program was helpful, how we can help you connect to other people as well. So these are all the ways that I recommend you to be building your networks within the IEP Ambassador Program. As I mentioned, there's over 5,000 throughout the past 6 years that we've been running this program. So there's a huge benefit here in networking in this specific field. Okay, let me look at some of the more recent questions here. Will anyone from the Institute be at the Rotary International Convention in Calgary? Yes. So we will have 2 representatives there all week. We also have a pre-convention workshop and a number of different presentations we'll be giving throughout the week. I see some of you are answering each other's questions. Thank you very much. That helps a lot. When we submit the form with evidence of our presentations, are we required to submit pictures of us presenting, or must we record the entire duration and submit in video form? We require at minimum photos. And this is just for us to do a little bit of a check to make sure that it happened in the first place. And then also just so you can share more about what you've been doing. So a photo is fine. You don't need to video the entire duration of your presentation. Are you going to submit a paper presentation or a video interview? You could do either, but keep in mind that these presentations aren't just for IEP. These are presentations for your communities. So what you're trying to do here is begin discussions and dialogues on peace within your families, within your communities, within your workplaces, etc. Can one carry out the challenge with audience but the same topic? Oh, with two audiences. Yes, that's okay. So you can present as many times as you'd like to. We only require one presentation. You're welcome to do more. Are there country level networks of IEP ambassadors? There are. They are self-organized by ambassadors themselves. So you have to participate in the Facebook and LinkedIn groups, and connect with people there is the best way. It is hard to go back to previous modules after watching the videos. Please, what can I do? There should be a previous page button, or there should be in the top of the module, you can click on any of the videos there. You received an email to sign up for this Q&A session, but not one for the link for the modules. If you received one to sign up for the Q&A session, that means that you are on the list for the modules. I'll ask that you please send an email to ambassadors@economicsandpeace.org, and we will make sure that you're on the list. But if you received the Q&A session, you should be. Maybe check your spam folder for that. And peace.org. I'm putting that email address into the webinar chat. The presentation can be done in any language. How do you join the LinkedIn group? Once we're finished here, I will put both the links to the LinkedIn group and the Facebook group in the chat. Absolutely open a WhatsApp group amongst yourselves. That's really excellent. I will share the Facebook group. Are you by any chance in the San Francisco Bay Area? I am not. Wonderful, wonderful. I heard you mention presentation. What is the topic? The topic is anything that you would like that's related to what you've learned in this program. So you could give a presentation on the Global Peace Index, or you could give a presentation on AI and peace, which was the example from our other ambassador. There's no minimum length for the video presentation. We just ask it to be thoughtful, complete, um, and not too short. Where do you send the videos and photos? So at the end, after module 3, yes, there will be a page where you can submit these things. You can submit your title as an IEP ambassador during different schools and institutions. Many IEP ambassadors have it listed on their LinkedIn page, on their CV, as an extracurricular that they have. Or somebody's already an IEP ambassador, but they keep seeing offers to continue to become one. Once you're an IEP ambassador, you will go onto our IEP ambassador mailing list. This means that you'll be kept up to date whenever a cohort is opening, so you can forward it on to your friends that might be interested. For the challenge, you can pick your topic as long as it's broadly related to what you've learned throughout the program. You can send a PowerPoint over as your evidence. That's completely okay. If there are circumstances that will prevent you from carrying out such a presentation, for example, if there's safety concerns, security concerns, other concerns that keep you from giving any kind of presentation, there are alternatives. So for example, we've had many IEP ambassadors in places that are not safe enough where you can speak about these topics in a public setting. So we've arranged with them, for example, where maybe they submit an essay instead. But before you do that, please do email us and let us know that that's what you're going to be doing so that we can just say, okay, and write your name down so we know that you're not going to be doing a presentation. Who is responsible for setting up the WhatsApp group in each area? That is for all of you to be leading on. Since we have over 5,000 ambassadors, IEP cannot manage every region, every group. We just manage the two Facebook and LinkedIn groups, and then it's up to you to organize past those. There's no minimum number of people to be presented at in the presentation. So there are some people who present to their immediate families. There are some people who present to a group of 2 or 3 people. That is completely okay. There's no minimum. How do you earn from this? Um, as mentioned before, this program does help a lot of people in their career. It's a very well-known program, and so I would hope that you'd be able to incorporate this and talk about this if you're ever in a job interview. Is there any limitation of the number of photos to be uploaded? No, we would like one photo that shows, that it actually took place. So if, for example, if you upload a photo of an empty room, we'll look at that and say, oh, well, what happened there? So just one photo that genuinely shows that the presentation happened, that's fine. You will have the option of whether you give us consent to use the photo, for example, in a presentation like I gave today, or if you don't want us to use the photo and just to use it for verification purpose. You can interview a previous IEP ambassador. Absolutely. That's a great idea. Okay, you're wondering if you can connect to our office in Nairobi. Yes, absolutely. We can connect you in. The easiest way to do that is to send an email to info@IEP. So this is for any general inquiry about IEP, not specific to the ambassador program. I'm typing it into the chat. That's info@economicsandpeace.org. Great. Somebody has posted a WhatsApp chat group into the Q&A. Yes, if you send pictures and presentations, that's great. Yeah, the more information we have, the better. For those that have completed the program in the past, you are now IEP ambassadors if you've gone through the entire process of submitting a challenge and receiving your certificate. I do see that 2 people posted 2 different ambassador WhatsApp groups, so you may want to coordinate on that. You can do a virtual presentation, and there's no minimum number of people to present to, or I'll say present to at least one person. While these questions continue to come in, I am going to log into the backside. I'll allow you to keep asking questions, and I'm going to try to get this chat going because there seems to be some technical difficulty. Let's see. Okay, it does say you are able to, so I'm not sure where the difficulty is with that. Okay, we'll continue this way. Thank you so much for your understanding with that. There is a different certificate that's sent when submitting the challenge and the one you paid for. So there's 2 different programs that IEP offers. One is called the Positive Peace Academy, which is a shorter couple of hour program. And that one, there's an optional certificate that is paid for. That's optional. With the IEP Ambassador Program, there are no costs associated with the certificate, since it is a longer program that's done over multiple weeks. How can we make peace in Southeast Asia? Wonderful question, and I invite other ambassadors in this group to begin that kind of conversation. So please, the floor now is open for any and all questions for the next 20 minutes. I'll be here. If you have them, please type them into the Q&A. We also have an FAQ page. Let me post the FAQ page. I'll post the Facebook group and I'll post the LinkedIn group. Here is the Facebook group link going into the chat. You can also find these in the modules on the right-hand side. There's an invitation to join these two groups on the right-hand side of the page. Here is the link to the LinkedIn group going into the chat. Are there any other Filipinos here? Somebody asked. Is it possible to present in more than one space? Yes, you are welcome to do more than one presentation. Only one presentation is required. If you do more, that's great. You can do the IEP Peace Academy course at the same time. The ambassador course is a little bit more information, so it's more thorough than the IEP Peace Academy is. Which cohort are you? You are the April 2025 cohort. You wish to represent us in Burkina Faso? The best way to start that is to start by becoming an IEP ambassador, actually. We always want to know what our IEP ambassadors are up to. We do have a number of staff members at IEP who started their journey with us as an IEP ambassador. You conducted a whole day positive peace workshop on April 19th. As you'd already received the email. Yes, that could count. Oh, no, sorry. Since the program started on April 23rd, it would be great if you did another one, but we can speak about that separately as well. It is not an obligation to join the Facebook group. That's only if you want to connect with other ambassadors there, but it is not an obligation. What is IEP's link with Rotary? So IEP and Rotary International have a long-standing MOU. We've been partners for 8 years. And so oftentimes what we do is that we share different audiences. So Rotary is very well aware of the IEP Ambassador Program. Many of our IEP ambassadors are also Rotary members. Can you pair up to make presentations? Yes, you can. You're welcome to do presentations jointly. I think that's excellent. When you submit, though, please both of you submit the information on your own individual pages because your IEP Ambassador Challenge is linked to your account. So we would not see that you completed it if only one person in the pair submits. So both of you have to submit the evidence when it comes time. Oh, did the I info, let me retype info at economicsandpeace.org. Okay. We have a question about peace in Myanmar. There was another question on peace in Asia. So I think that there's a lot of potential for collaborations to happen within this group. You are allowed to work with schools on a peace building project. Absolutely. We have many ambassadors work with young people, work with schools. IEP does not have an office or a center in Nigeria, but Nigeria is one of the best represented countries in our IEP Ambassador Program. You can make the presentation individually. That's absolutely okay. Majority of people end up making it individually. Okay, there were two different WhatsApp groups recommended in this chat. With your permission, I'll send one over, um, just so that you can all join the same one. So an anonymous attendee just submitted this to the. Okay, yeah, and people are putting in their numbers and contacts as well, so that's great. Great. I'm so happy to see you networking and sharing where you are. This recording will be shared with the current cohort of ambassadors. For anybody who was unable to make this, we will let them know. This video will be sent to them and to all of you. What is the typical length of a presentation? I would say most people are presenting from anywhere to 15 to 30 minutes is the usual. But again, that's just what the usual is. You need to actually present. So it's not just submitting a presentation. You need to be talking to at least one other person about the program. I see a question in French. I can read it. I can't respond in French, unfortunately. We do have French speaking staff, but the importance of the certificate, I think, is the question. So you have to deliver the IEP challenge in order to get your certificate. If you do not do the challenge, you will not receive a certificate. The certificate is really helpful for a lot of people. Again, in their career, they can add it to their profiles. It proves that you went through this program, and that you put in significant effort into learning about and working on peace in your community. The presentation will contain photos and video, or photos are enough. The presentation is completely up to you. You do not need to include videos into your presentation. It can just be a plain text presentation. It can have photos. It is completely up to you. Great. I see people asking questions, sharing their contact details. How to join Rotary? Great question. Rotary is an excellent network. I highly recommend it. Someone has created an IEP ambassador group for Northern Nigeria specifically. So our Kenya base, our Nairobi office is our Africa office. So they cover the entire continent at the moment. Great. And I see people connecting about Rotary as well. Excellent. I'm going to leave this all running for another 10 minutes so you can continue to network and chat and ask questions. You can present in a joint seminar with other partners. Yep, that's completely okay. If you want to have other speakers, other panelists, if you want to do this in an event or you want to create an event, that's okay. Do you have an office in Harare, Zimbabwe? We used to. We had an office in Harare for many years. We moved it to Nairobi recently. Are you going to submit a paper presentation or a video? So when the Ambassador Challenge submission page is open, you'll see that we ask for some information about your presentation. Who did you present to? What did you talk about? Who was in the audience? That kind of thing, the basic information. And then we ask for some evidence that you gave a presentation, whether that's a photo of the presentation. If you want to submit a video of your presentation, that's fine. If you want to submit your notes, your PowerPoint, whatever it is, we need some sort of evidence that it took place. We do not have an office in Pakistan, unfortunately, but we have many ambassadors in Pakistan. Okay, we have a request for the southwest region of Nigeria. I also recommend that you do reach out to other people on Facebook and the LinkedIn groups. We have, again, over 5,000 IEP ambassadors. Right now, we're only talking with the current cohort. So there's many people who've gone through the IEP Ambassador Program in the prior years. Whoever is the manager of the IEP Ambassador group, you have a couple of people asking for their numbers to be added. And great. Someone from Guatemala has linked their LinkedIn page as well. Can we share the number of cohorts for April? So there's one, we run two cohorts every year. So this year, you're our first cohort of 2025, and then we will run a second cohort around October or November. You can put your IEP ambassador, you're officially an IEP ambassador at the end of this program. So at this time, you're a candidate to become an IEP ambassador, but it's only once you get your certificate that you use the title. Will the recording contain the chat? I do not think the recording contains the chat. What happens if you decided to only submit the video recording? The video recording of your presentation? That's okay. That's fine. I see there's now a WhatsApp group for Liberia ambassadors. We do not have an office in Nepal. We have done work in Nepal, and we have partners in Nepal. We do not have an office in Djibouti either. We have Australia, Brussels, Belgium, New York in USA, Mexico City, and Nairobi. How do you get the certificate? You go through all of the online modules, you conduct your IEP challenge, Ambassador Challenge, and then you get your certificate upon completion of that. There are two different courses. So the one that we're talking about today is the IEP Ambassador course. So that's what you are all working your way through, and you will be a certified IEP ambassador. Our other course is called the Positive Peace Academy. That one is a much shorter online course. There's no challenge to it. And that one they ask you for an optional certificate that's $100. That's optional. The certificate for this program, IEP Ambassador Program, is free. There's no cost associated with the IEP Ambassador Program. You're having trouble accessing the modules. Please email us at ambassadors@economicsandpeace.org. Is there anyone from Indonesia? Is this connected to the Rotary Peace Academy? We are also the partners on the Rotary Peace Academy. It's a separate program for Rotary members specifically, but that is an IEP partnership product. You think I should join the WhatsApp group too? I very well may. I definitely want to keep up with all of you and hear about what you're doing. I am also in the Facebook and LinkedIn group, but I'm not as myself. I'm as like the IEP Ambassador Coordinator. Ambassadors@economicsandpeace.org. That's ambassadors with an S at the end. It's in the chat as well. Well, we only have a few more minutes here. I'm happy to leave this open for you to chat a little bit longer if you'd like. Otherwise, join that WhatsApp group and join the Facebook group. How do you join the WhatsApp group? The link is in the chat. I believe if you click on that link, if you already have WhatsApp, you'll be able to join. Is there anybody from Burkina Faso? I know we've had people in the past from Burkina Faso. We also don't have everybody from the cohort here, so. We have many ambassadors from East and Southeast Asia. And again, also post these WhatsApp groups in the Facebook and LinkedIn so other ambassadors from previous years can also join and connect. We have IEP Ambassador Cameroon WhatsApp group now. Yes, you can do a group presentation. Again, just remember to submit the form still each individually. So you can say that you did it jointly, but everybody has to submit something. Otherwise, it could look like you did not do a presentation on the back end of the program. Is there anyone from Qatar is one of the questions. Eastern US that's worked in Africa. I'm sure there's many. You will get a video of this Q&A. Yes, that will be sent out to everybody in the current cohort. How can you join the WhatsApp group for Senegal? Was there one made? I'm not sure if there is a Senegal group yet. You may have to make one. Yes, there will be a second Q&A. And it'll probably be at a different time, so we accommodate people in different time zones as well. And again, a recording of that one will also be sent out. The presentation that you will make, as you make your way through the modules, there's a whole section on how to make a presentation, what to make it about. So as you go through the online learning program, you will have so much information about it. We will also send the recording of this call to everybody so you can watch back the beginning part of this conversation. There were two groups for Nigerians that were made earlier. Please post and respond to each other's questions. Can you link SDGs with IEP? Absolutely, you can. They're very complementary, and that would be a great presentation. Yes, you can put a request for a WhatsApp group for Americans working in the US and Africa. Absolutely. The Facebook group, post away, ask each other questions. We do go through a process. We have to approve your post. And that's just to make sure that nobody ever says anything hurtful, or discriminatory. But otherwise, we approve everything as long as it's respectful. Thank you for your questions about the benefits of the course. Again, we went over that earlier in this call. Please watch that again, once the link is shared. Belinda, thank you for sharing your information. He's so full of energy. Honestly, the IEP Ambassador Program is my favorite program, so I'm always so excited to have these calls. We do not have an office in Somalia, unfortunately. What makes it my favorite? Um, I get to engage with so many people who I don't normally get to engage with. Like every year I get to talk to hundreds of people from all over the world who are all interested and passionate about peace. It gives me a lot of hope, actually, which is a very hard thing to find sometimes. So the Ambassadors Program is definitely a very hopeful one for me. You can contact me through the ambassador's email address, the ambassadors at Economics and Peace email. Yes, we have surpassed 200 questions, actually. We are at 211 questions. And I do have to go in a few minutes. I actually run the IEP Ambassadors Program. So I'm the director of partnerships at IEP. So I'm all in the back end, working on all of the emails that get sent to you, the course content, how we engage with you, etc. The founder of IEP is Steve Killalay. He's a philanthropist. He founded it in 2008. It's a good story. He tried to Google what's the most peaceful country in the world, and there was no answer online. And so he decided that with his philanthropic initiative, he would found a research group that would study peace, because so often peace studies are actually studying war instead of studying peace. So it was a really new way of looking at peace. Great. Okay, with that, I am going to be closing this out. Please engage on the online platforms. The FAQ page that I linked has answers to the vast majority of your questions. If you cannot find the answer to your question on the FAQ page, please send us an email at ambassadors@economicsandpeace.org. We are here and happy to help you. And we're so looking forward to see what you're able to do with your IEP ambassadorship. So thank you, everybody. I wish you all a great day, evening, morning, wherever you are from. Thanks so much. Bye now.